Yo, let's walk these dogs. You know what I mean? So the Sagittarius and Capricorn, cusp, you know? Now, Black Moon Lilith, Sagittarius, for the next 9 months, expansion, a sense of freedom, incorporating into the life the things that you want to experience, the things in life that you are longing to experience. All right? Because your soul senses, your soul knows that there are particular experiences that you have to have that reinforces your identity, that keeps the fire lit, the passion, the interest, the conviction about living life, making it meaningful, making it purposeful. We're at the place where we're losing interest and desire for the mundane. The constant repetition of doing the same thing again and again, but the heart is not in it, the spirit is not in it. I can't taste it, I can't feel it. So, you're looking for what you can feel. You're looking for what you can really relate to at a soul level where the body comes alive and you're like, yeah, I'm living. You know what I mean? I'm really living. I am doing and I'm being what I know I'm here to be. And there's purpose in it. It makes me happy. It makes me joyful. It makes me express myself loud and expansively. Within that Sagittarius longing, you want new experiences that you have not had that teaches you things. It's like remembering that play is also learning. That in fun and play is also education. Mental exercises, emotional exercises. You're running the loops, you're running the plays of being yourself and all of the variations that there are to be the self. But you have to connect to particular experiences. And those particular experiences will be in the context of the house that you have Sagittarius. You need those experiences. You're longing for those experiences. And because of Black Moon Lilith, you are not going to deny yourself that. You're not going to turn away from it. You're no longer going to be putting it on a back burner like, I have other things to do. There are important schedules ahead. I have different deadlines and duties and responsibilities, so there's no way I could do that. So what Black Moon Lilith is going to insist is that you find a way to justify incorporation of those Sagittarius impulses into your duties and responsibilities. Marry them together and find a way to merge them together so that you can have the best of both worlds in balance. Duty and responsibility while also living expansively, while also tasting more freedom and liberation for yourself, while also feeling like getting up every day is something that you're anxious to do, because guess what? You're living to be who you really are. This could look like, for example, you do your 9 to 5 or something, right? Like you get up and do your 9 to 5. From 9 to 5, okay, it's about, okay, let's pay these bills. You know, we got to do to pay these bills. But you're anticipating through that Black Moon Lilith that every day that I get off, I'm going to work from 5 to 9 on myself, for myself. From 5 to 9, it's me working toward the freedom that I want, the experiences that I want, the fulfillment that I want, the meaningful life that I want. So what does this look like? It looks like the entrepreneur's life. It looks like the business startup. It looks like the initiator of a person who's claiming the life that they really want. Because, you know, if it applies to you, If it happens to be, for example, like a 9 to 5 that you're doing, anything that includes your daily duties and responsibilities that you know you can't just walk off of and you just can't stop doing, but you're going to pick up interest enough in itself to invest in that outcome through the Capricorn energy. The Capricorn energy gives you excess range in time and process. Why? Because Sagittarius minimizes what you're putting energy into, because it breaks it down to what is critical or not. What are the critical objectives of the day? What are the critical points of the day? In doing so, you're scaling down what you're putting energy into, and you're able to do more because of that. You know what I mean? So if I cut back, flipping through the channels after work, if I cut back, stopping and kicking it with so-and-so, every time I go to, say if I go to the gym, so-and-so want to talk to me like 20 minutes. That's 20 minutes of the day that I could save if I just dodge this nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, listen, I got a little workout to do. I'm going to get back with you, baby pop. You know what I'm saying? It's good seeing you, baby. Word. Let me go over here on these weights. You know what I'm saying? Throw these up real quick. Get out of here. You saving yourself time somewhere. You're bringing back time for yourself. You're bringing back opportunity and energy for yourself so that you could repurpose it as an investment to yourself for what you need of a fulfillment later on. You know what I mean? You buying back your time. You're buying back your energy. You're buying back every opportunity, all the scraps. You're bringing them back together so that you can use it for yourself, for your future, and that vision that you got, the expansive vision that you believe in, that you should have, or that you deserve to experience in your life. So Black Moon Lilith is lighting a match under your ass, you know what I'm saying, telling you like, yo, don't you want this? Don't you want that? Don't you want to feel this? Don't you want to experience that? You know what I mean? Don't you want to make contact with these particular kind of experiences? Isn't it time for you to, connect to what this means to you? Your soul is longing for it. And it refuses to say no. So you got 9 months of having this bodily impulse to break free from conformity, mundane process, boring and meaningless devotions. And now it's time to give the bare minimum to those robot processes. Take your heart out of it and place your heart into yourself this time. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm going to go to work. I'm going to do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do a good job. But all that extra, you know what I'm saying? Going over and beyond and putting all that extra energy. Nah, I ain't doing that. I'm saving that excess for myself. I'm saving all that energy for myself because I have to reinvest it back into myself. If this is going to be a reality for me, if this is going to be an opportunity for me, I got to reinvest it back into myself because ain't nobody else going to do it. You know what I mean? It's only a promise if I make it a promise to myself. It's only a guarantee if I make that commitment. That's the only way it's going to happen. So we're utilizing Capricorn energy for two purposes. And with this stellium passing through Capricorn, and we have a combustion with both Venus and Mars, with the sun, that combustion is allowing us not to get carried away with Mars and Venus, which makes us minimalist of how we utilize the resources of Mars and Venus. And being minimalist with that energy, we reserve energy of the body to make that dream possible of what we want our daily walk to look like and feel like, what we want to be experiencing, that makes us feel like we're alive again. And not just a fucking dead fossil walking around just going through the same routines. So I'm pointing that out to you so you can look at your chart, you know, and put that in perspective. What does that mean to you? What does that look like to you? What should it look like to you later on? What are areas in your life where you can stop wasting time, spending excess time, or, you know, you could take back time. You could take back energy, okay? Because emotional energy is part of that too. All of this is currency. Your emotional energy, the shit that you laugh at, the things that you cry about, whose phone call you answer, whose text message you reply to, you know, how much time you put aside for, you know, watching movies or kicking it with that person when you walk out the bodega. You know what I mean? How much time you spend, you know, chilling in your vehicle, you know, going here or going there. All the excess stuff. Where are the places in your life where you're putting too much energy that you can invest right back into yourself? Where are places in your life where you put too much emotion that you need to conserve for yourself? You know what I mean? Because Sagittarius, Black Moon Lilith, is demanding of you to find a solution, to do something about it. You know what I mean? It's that Black Moon Lilith, the Sagittarius, is screaming to you like, yo, why, you know what I mean? Why you don't got time for yourself? Why you don't got time for what you believe in? Why you don't got time for what your heart is really inclined to? Why don't you have energy for it? Why don't you have the money for it? Why don't you have the resources for it? So we're no longer making excuses for that. Instead, we're using this intensified Capricorn energy to hone in on all the details on where we can, you know what I mean? We could dry the plate, and make sure that every part is being used efficiently. So we can run 2 schedules in one day. You know, I mean, I've been doing this eternally. You know what I'm saying? This type of, you know, this way of going about things. You know what I mean? Especially with Capricorn at the 6th house. You know, it's just how I roll. You know, but essentially, you know, you're stepping into that entrepreneurial mindset. You're stepping into that pioneering mindset where your dream is realized as something that's in your hands and responsibility, and you're the one who has to get up and find the time, energy, and resources to commit to it, to make it possible, to make it a reality. So your discipline has to show up, your commitment has to show up, your sincerity has to show up, your focus, the way that you utilize your time and your energy, it has to show up now. Otherwise, it's not going to be, it's just a wish. Understand that? So Venus is now stepping into Capricorn, so we're going to find, yes, you are going to have more support now. You are going to have more ease with that process. However, Venus is combust. So you're not going to get carried away with Venus. It's going to be just enough for you to satisfy the demands, the obligations, the duties, the responsibilities, okay? If you go to the video that I posted just before this, it clarifies all that rundown concerning Capricorn, the very dry, boring, mundane, okay? Yes, responsibility, yada, yada, yada. We tired of hearing that. You know what I'm saying? Now it's time to incorporate what gives a spark of life and fire into my life that makes it feel like I'm fucking breathing, nigga. You know what I'm saying?